Well, folks, we are now in a battle between tech and publishers. In fact, we're about to dive deeply into the dark side of big tech, which was once hailed as a necessary next step and a savior for journalism all over the world. And yet, big tech now finds itself under fire from the very community that they supposedly tried to support. The recent move by Google, the world's largest search engine, to remove links to Canadian news from its products has sparked quite a bit of controversy. But the decision was an easily predicted response to a new Canadian law that requires tech giants to pay news publishers for the use of their content. I mean, we were saying this was going to happen all along. Now, Google has been facing a ton of lawsuits from, well, everybody, but right now, publishers in various countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, Germany, France, and Belgium. Gannett, which is one of the largest news publishers in the United States, has filed a lawsuit against Google, specifically accusing it of causing a significant drop in advertising revenue for publishers and leading to a decline in newsroom employment. I'm not sure exactly how they'll prove that second part, but I can guarantee you that first part might be fairly easy to do. Now, the primary issue is revolving around digital advertising, which is a crucial element. You see, the primary issue revolves around digital advertising, which is crucial now that all of the venture capital has finally dried up. In fact, it's almost entirely gone. And in the pre-internet era, publishers negotiated deals with individual advertisers, but with the rise of online advertising, Google and its parent company Alphabet have gained a virtual monopoly over the advertising technology tools that have been used by advertisers alike. Google's dominance in the ad exchange market has raised concerns about, well, conflicts of interest and unfair practices, leading to a decreased revenue for all of the publishers that use them, which makes an awful lot of sense. Some argue that it actually hits smaller digital players as well through ad networks that, well, essentially are providing even lower ad rates to the smaller companies. Moreover, Google's search results display snippets and links to news articles, potentially infringing on publishers' content. In fact, that claim, which we'll dive into, is unlikely to hold up in court because a short synopsis of stories and books in the given context that these little snippets are delivered, yeah, that's allowed under current law, so I'm not sure exactly how they'll go about dealing with that. Many publishers, though, are arguing that if Google wants to use their content, it should compensate them fairly, and the search engine's vast user base provides publishers with a significant source of traffic, making it very difficult for them to challenge Google. In fact, it might be, well, catastrophic. To make it even more challenging, some algorithmic changes have been made to many sites, and, well, I should say specifically to Google's search engine, and many sites that were getting traffic are now completely unmentioned on search pages, or at least aren't scoring very highly. Some experts believe that regulation should be put in place to address the power imbalance between content creators and ad tech companies like Google, because they're not the only one. And countries like Australia have actually passed legislation requiring tech platforms to share their algorithmic information and pay licensing fees to news organizations. I imagine things are going to change there rapidly. However, implementing such measures in countries like the United States, the UK, and India could pose a number of challenges, particularly for smaller and regional publishers, because they could just be delisted entirely from search results, which seems to be what's happening to the Canadians, and probably potentially the Australians, but we'll find out. Now, while Google has made efforts through its Google News initiative to partner with news publishers and provide training and grants, some critics have argued that these incentives and initiatives are just not enough to address the fundamental issues at hand, leading to an inevitable conflict and possibly an antitrust case here in the US that could lead to potential separation of Google and its AdSense related businesses. Well, at least the ones that are in promotion of, well, ads and ad tech. And if you break them up, well, that would actually help with greater competition. Clearly, the battle between news publishers and Google is highlighting the darker side of tech, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and at least what its impact has been on journalism for the last several years. The struggle for compensation and control over content raises important questions about the role of tech giants in shaping the media landscape, an area in which they should be strictly prohibited from operating. As this debate continues, and believe me, it will keep happening, it remains to be seen just how this power struggle is going to play out and what implications it will have for the future of journalism and, well, the overall media variety. I suspect that this is going to take multiple court battles before something is done, and there are two outcomes that, well, one of which Google will not be very pleased with. And with that, what do you think? Do you think that, well, the journalist side of the equation is right? Do you think the Google side of the equation is right? Or do you think a combination of those two are basically set on self-destruction? I believe that Google may be in a position where it will be broken up. There is a lot of will at governmental levels around the globe to make them separate their big pieces into much smaller ones unaffiliated with Alphabet. We'll see what happens. But your thoughts down below. If you'd like to comment on this, give me your ideas of whether or not any of those things I've asked are accurate or something that you believe will happen. I'm quite curious though if Google will be something different in the future, because I've seen recently that there are a lot of sites that aren't showing up in searches that should be very highly ranked. It's very concerning. With that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.